Canelo Alvarez looks like he could be potentially coming after Jermall Charlo and targeting Joe Smith and Triple G as well. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. So we have some interesting news here as the undisputed champion at super middleweight in Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, everybody is wondering what is the next move for Canelo Alvarez. Well, there's a lot of moves for Canelo Alvarez. It's coming from multiple sources and multiple reports that Canelo Alvarez could be potentially facing off against Jermall Charlo. I think that's a great fight to make. I have Canelo Alvarez by stoppage beating Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo has been out the ring for over a year. I don't think that anything Jermall Charlo does to Canelo Alvarez, it won't work, because if Jermall Charlo put on the same performance he had against Juan Montiel, whatever you want to call him, I think he's going to lose drastically. I give Canelo Alvarez 11th round stoppage. I just don't think that Jermall Charlo has anything that can keep Canelo Alvarez off of him, and I just don't think that his power ain't going to be enough to keep Canelo Alvarez off him. Yeah, he might have success with the jab alone, but I just think Canelo Alvarez is going to be too much for Jermall Charlo to handle, and I have Canelo Alvarez by stoppage victory. It also was coming from reports that Canelo Alvarez could come face off against Makubu and become a 5-division champion. Makubu opponent mandatory refused to take step-aside money, so that's kind of on pause right now. So Canelo Alvarez is not going to be going to cruiserweight to fight Makubu until that issue has been addressed. If Makubu is successful in his next fight, there's another report's been talking about Canelo Alvarez could be potentially going to light heavyweight to become undisputed. Is there under a calendar year? So he's looking to potentially face off against Joe Smith Jr., who has like 25 wins, 3 losses. If you guys don't know who Joe Smith Jr. is the guy that was famous for knocking Bernard Hopkins silly out the ring. So with that being said, I think Canelo Alvarez beats Joe Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. lacks on defense. He does not have the best ring IQ in the world, in my opinion. He has a lot of power, which will make for a dangerous fight for Canelo. But I think Canelo Alvarez will knock out Joe Smith Jr. Here's the tricky part. Canelo Alvarez could be potentially making this move if he successfully beats Joe Smith Jr. to Arthur Beterbiev. Arthur Beterbiev knocked out Marcus Brown in his last fight. I think Canelo Alvarez will beat Arthur Beterbiev by a unanimous decision. I do not think he will knock out Arthur Beterbiev, because Arthur Beterbiev is not looking to be walked down. He's looking to walk you down. And I think that makes for an interesting fight. I just think defensively wise, Canelo Alvarez will get Arthur Beterbiev, because there's some moments that Arthur Beterbiev looks kind of slow, and he's just relying on his power at that point. But that's a very dangerous fight for Canelo Alvarez. If he's successful against Arthur Beterbiev, he makes his way to Bivol. Bivol is easy. I think Bivol is not defensively responsible. Bivol isn't looking to knock you out. He's looking to outbox you at every chance. And the arm reach advantage for Bivol is not going to save him, because Canelo Alvarez and Dimitri Bivol have the same arm reach advantage. So Bivol is not going to be looking to knock Canelo Alvarez out. He's going to be looking to box, but I see Canelo Alvarez walk him down into something big and knocking Bivol out. That's just my opinion. And then also being reported that Canelo Alvarez could also potentially face off against rival past opponent Triple G. A lot of people felt that Canelo Alvarez lost both fights against Triple G. That is not the case. I think Canelo Alvarez won the first fight. It should have never been a draw. Then Triple G talked to trash. He wouldn't fight Mexican style, and then Canelo Alvarez styled on him in the second fight. I arguably picked Canelo Alvarez winning both fights. I just think Triple G was defensively lackey. I just think he was too slow, in my opinion. Now, there were some shots that he was laying on Canelo Alvarez big, but I just think that Triple G lost both fights. But it's being reported as that Canelo Alvarez could potentially face off against Jermall Charlo. What would be the weight for that? Would it still be at 168? Or is Canelo Alvarez willing to stay at 168 to defend the belt against Jermall Charlo, or he's going to go straight to light heavyweight? I'm thinking he probably could go straight to light heavyweight or something like that. Why fight Jermall Charlo would you have nothing to gain fighting him, and you can go ahead and go up to the light heavyweight and get undisputed there and be a two-time undisputed champion? Jermall Charlo is looking for a payday. I would be kind of interested to see this fight who will win. I'm picking Canelo Alvarez. I think Canelo Alvarez is just too much for Jermall Charlo to handle. Jermall Charlo did not look good in his last three fights, in my opinion. If he fights Canelo Alvarez the same way he fought Montiel, he's going to get stopped. Point blank and simple. I don't care if you guys are Jermall Charlo fans or whatever or not. He's going to get stopped by Canelo Alvarez because Jermall Charlo is starting to be defensive irresponsible, and he's starting to let the stuff outside the boxing ring get to him instead of focus on the main task to stay focused inside the ring. And be advised, Jermall Charlo has been out the ring for a year, and Canelo Alvarez is looking to remain to stay active so he won't get rusty. But with that being said, guys, be expecting these up and coming fights on which Canelo Alvarez opponent he's choose to pick next. But with that being said, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.